Next I'm off to Sutton House, a Tudor home built in 1535 by a prominent courtier of Henry VIII, Sir Ralph Sadler. The house retains much of the atmosphere of a Tudor home despite some alterations by later occupants that included a succession of merchants, Huguenot silk weavers and even squatters. It features oak-panelled rooms, original fireplaces and a charming courtyard. The house was taken over by squatters in the 1980s before the local community rallied together to save Sutton House. The linen fold parlour is the room that gets its name from the intricate patterns carved into the wood panelling. Historically, the cellar would have been used to store things like beer, wine and food. Today, it reveals the foundations of the house. Brick construction was unusual at the time and marks Sutton House as a place of some importance. Formerly a panelled room whose panels were damaged when the house stood empty in the 1980s, the former gallery now serves as a contemporary art space, the bare walls exposing the history and construction once hidden. Here we have the Great Chamber. It has been used as a social space throughout the history of the house. One of the former owners was the wealthy silk merchant Captain John Millward. He brought home elaborate silk decorations from the Far East in the 1600s, and the room contains a treasure trove of his exciting discoveries from abroad. By the early 1980s, Sutton House stood empty. The departure of its previous tenants left it exposed to damage from vandalism, theft and fire. And in the middle of the decade, the house was occupied by squatters, which actually provided a measure of security for the building. And to celebrate the 30th anniversary of their time, this room has been turned into an exhibit of a squatter's bedroom. The Georgian parlour reflects the renovations of the mid-1700s, when Sutton House was first divided up. This is the time the house began its long association with the Huguenots, French Protestants who came to England as refugees. The house has its own chapel, located in the cellar, which dates from the original construction of the house. For almost 50 years, between 1891 and 1939, Sutton House was home to the St John and Hackney Church Institute, which aimed to promote the spiritual, mental, social and physical welfare of young men. The Tudor kitchen was a place that would have been hot and noisy as servants cooked food for the family and guests above. Leading us onto the courtyard and Wenlock Barn, this area was originally the Tudor Flower Garden. Built in 1904 by the St John's Institute as an area for functions, it still provides the same usage today. The Breaker's Yard Garden is in reference to the industrial past of the area. And after consulting over 1,000 local residents, it was created to playfully celebrate the past history of the house. From Tudor courtiers to squatters, Sutton House certainly has had a colourful past.